Well, hello everybody. Normally during worship we have a brief time for children, and then the kids, the older ones at least, leave worship for kids' church, and I give a longer sermon for older youth and adults. Today we flip those around, and no grown-ups, this is not the time that you get to leave church. Trust me, you want to be here for what's coming next. But today I'm going to give a very brief homily, and then we will welcome some of the children of our congregation to take over, telling the Christmas story in only the way that children can do. Last week in our church council meeting, as we were discussing priorities for the church for the upcoming year, our youth representative, Chris Matthey, who is our narrator today, talked about how important children's ministry is for the church. In his impassioned discussion, he talked about the Christmas pageant and how he started out as a lowly sheep and then worked his way all the way up as a senior in high school to narrator. The pageant is often the first way that we ask kids to serve in church. Before they become readers or acolytes or take on other leadership roles, before sometimes they can walk or even talk, they are sheep and angels and stars. And serving is what they are doing today. This isn't just a performance, what they are doing. This is the telling of the gospel, a sermon of sorts, meant to convey to all of us something important about who God is. Their Christmas pageant will so convincingly demonstrate to us something about God's love that through their simple telling of the story, we will see something of our own story intersecting with God's story. Our faith will be nurtured, and we will turn again toward the promise of God's love. Stories are so important. They're how we learn our place in this world. What child has not begged for a nighttime story? And what parent hasn't, although wishing perhaps that she or he could just go to bed, willingly told the story and realized what a powerful connection that is? What adult hasn't resonated with someone else's experience in a novel or a podcast, and upon hearing it felt all of a sudden less alone or less afraid, or at least known my life too is going to be okay? We are all recipients of stories. And then somehow in our lives we change from being receivers to being tellers. This is a powerful and important switch that we all make, and it's a powerful switch for our children. What they do today, it's more than just being cute and adorably spontaneous and a moment where a lifetime of church memories are created. I remember the time that a child stuffed a basketball underneath her tunic because she was going to be Mary. I mean, these stories, they live on, right? But beyond the cuteness, beyond the chaos, there is something important that goes on when the children tell the story of our faith. Because we realize as grown-ups that we need their version too. This isn't some watered-down version. They are excited and honored by what they can tell. Our readers have practiced. They know it's important. Our star is covered in glitter. When is the last time a grown-up took a star so seriously that you bedazzled it and then spread glitter all over the whole house? The kids can't keep their hands off of Jesus, this tiny, vulnerable little baby. The kids know he needs care and community, hugs, a family, a home. Kids know God in a way that I think few adults can remember. They know him because they are him in a way that few adults remember that we are. Kids are totally dependent and totally vulnerable. They know that they need us to make space for them. Sometimes they demand it so fiercely. They know that they need to be loved and accepted. They know that they mess up and they need someone to forgive them and offer them grace. They know what it is to live in trustworthy relationships of love. And I think that they think that a world of peace is actually possible. We need this too, we grown-ups. Kids, one of the secrets of adulthood is that we actually don't know what we're doing. And we're each as vulnerable as you are. We just sometimes do a better job of pretending that we're not. My hope as we hear this story is that we'll hear something of God's grace and love that surprises or comforts, that challenges and sends us out into the world full of joy and love and peace. But I have hopes for the children too as they tell this story. My hope is that as you tell it, you also will live it. That as you grow, you'll be able to weave your story in with the story that you tell today. Maybe you'll see someone in need of a home or welcome or acceptance, and you'll remember the innkeeper. Or maybe you'll be in a moment when the world is trying to say bad things to you, but you know you've got something to share, and you'll remember Mary. Or maybe you have to choose whether or not you're going to accept a friend even though they have a lot of baggage, and then you remember Joseph. Or maybe you will just see a beautiful miracle in nature, and you'll become like those shepherds. Someday you'll develop your own income stream, and you'll be generous, and you'll remember the wise men. And certainly in your life, there are moments where you are afraid, where you are worried, where you have lost hope, and then you'll be drawn again to the miracle of God, who teaches us through this story that God is always, always with us, and that hope, love, joy, and peace are always possible.